there's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder, here with the first Dominaria Remastered Draft Booster box that I've ever opened. And this one is for Bacon Bombs, because he is bullying me, so we have Bacon Bombs. Oh, I'm trying to show it to the other camera. Bacon Bombs, here getting some draft boosters. He actually wants me to open up 2 of them, but apparently wants this one on a live stream. So, we need to figure out a time where we can live stream, open up stuff. If people want me to open up products on live stream, talk shop, let's figure out a time. I kind of like this. I kind of like messing around with you dinks. This is a pretty neat set. It's a master set. It's actually starting to recover. I'm actually quite surprised with Magic the Gathering being able to... I would have thought about it, would have collapsed by now. The print run of this was massive. The print run of the last sets were massive. They're not slowing down. Maybe they do know better than I do about how to run the company. But the other indication, though, that it's not doing too well is that there are so many dead products from just this year that are still sitting around at the distribution level. And what I've said in multiple of my videos is Magic the Gathering's greatest competitor is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, it's its other products that are still in existence. So, for a healthy ecosystem, those products need to empty the shelves before new ones can replace them. Stores need to make money, people need to feel like that their purchases they made 5, 6, 12 months ago were worth it, and right now, unfortunately, that is not the case with most Magic the Gathering products. They keep choosing winner products like this one. Like, why would you ever justify buying other products right now when the value of this is just so much higher than similar products of similar cost? So, anyway, this is for Bacon Bombs. Like I said, I'm getting bullied to open it, so I better open it, and then we'll choose a time for a live stream. Maybe we'll do like a whatnot type stream where if people want me to open up product, they just, purchase it, and we can start opening up some of these dead products that I've been accumulating here at my store. So maybe we can do some deals and have some fun. Who knows what should do? I'm all open for any ideas that you nerds have for a video series for kind of like the live box opening. So anyway, let's get enough of my ugly mug here and get to the box opening. So we will zoom in and start cracking. So what are we looking for? Force of Wills? Out of this, what I was really impressed by this set in particular was, geez, I can't open up boxes. You think I'd be good at this by now, and I'm still, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go get a knife. I have keys. Keys work. We'll open up some boxes with keys. You think I'd be good at doing this after years and years, but I am still a noob. Anyway, so Dominaria, impressed with like the commons and uncommon slot, especially the common slot has a lot of really, really snazzy stuff. The quality seems to be pretty good for these packs so far that we've opened, at least the collector's boosters and the few draft boosters we opened when we were filling up our case for single packs. So there are some good cards, but like I said, they're running out of reprint equity for Magic the Gathering. They've reprinted like Vampiric Tutor now, like multiple times in the past year. Many of these cards have been reprinted in the last year. Usually you need a good 4 years. That was kind of the threshold for Magic the Gathering, that it needed a reprint about every 4 years for a relatively high demand card. And if you printed it more than every 4 years, then the cost of these got crashed. And of course, this is the age-old argument that I have with people on this channel over and over and over is, well, we want accessibility. We don't want our commander decks to cost $1,000. I hear you. I get you, but at the same time, they have to be able to justify charging, $200 a box for Dominaria Remastered, or who's going to buy it, or if you do buy it and your cards crash and they never recover, you're going to feel bad, you're not going to buy products in the future. It's a tightrope that Wizard has to walk on, so they have to be very careful with their reprint equity. Now, this set doesn't have a mana base that is decent in it. That's one thing that you always want to look for a set long term, but it does have Force of Will, it does have some chase cards, and I think in the long term scope of things, it's better for a set to have one expensive card than it is to have like a lot of like medium. I think that Baldur's Gate is a good example of that. Why no one likes Baldur's Gate. That if Baldur's Gate would have just included like a Jeweled Lotus or a few other like high-end cards, just one, even just like a Jeweled Lotus, I think people would change their tone about it. But anyway, no one wants to hear about that, or maybe they do. I don't know why they like to watch me open up packs, but we'll get to cracking this box for the good old Bacon Bomb. So I haven't really looked at the set too much with the reprints here. I've checked some of the and didn't that used to be a rare? Or am I thinking of another card? So, no, it didn't. Okay, but that's a cool little... Like, the commons and uncommon slots are really cool in here. The Deadpool, this was one of my favorite cards growing up as a kid. I remember I built a zombie sacrifice deck with Deadpool when this was released in, Planar Chaos? Or what was the set this came out with? The Order to Chaos. And the voice of oh man, we had fun with this card growing up. So this is gonna have a lot of nostalgia for me. And we got the first rare Forgotten Ancients, which was in a Commander set. First was that I can't remember when the sucker was printed, and the good old High Tide in the retro frame and the retro foil. So I guess we can go foils, rares, retros. So you get 1 retro. Okay, so that's the order it's gonna go in. It's gonna go bunch of commons, 3 uncommons, then you get 1 of each rare, retro, and then a foil, I'm assuming, and then a land and a token. So we'll kind of put the piles there for everyone to see. I'm kind of zoomed out here. So I don't know how well this will age. This is like, Wizards has to stop. It's going to crack. It's got to crack, guys. There's no way they can keep up this amount of printing. I'm actually surprised it hasn't yet. Well, Phyrexia, I think, will be the big test for a set. Man, Cloud of Fairies is in this set. It's a pretty powerful common. So I know my pre-orders are super low for Phyrexia. Super low, comparatively speaking, to other sets. So we'll go through these kind of quick here. We get the Flame Tongue Kavu. So you can actually get the showcase version of these cards. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in with the High Tide. Flame Tongue Kavu was a cool card back in the day. 4 damage to target creature. And it wouldn't see play in Standard now because it doesn't hit Shieldred. I don't know, it might see play in Standard if it was in Standard. Nisabri Symbiosis. So we get the Mountain. So I guess like there's a showcase or a foil slot. I don't know. I don't even pretend to know what's going on anymore. So far 2 kind of meh rares. We have the Elvish Apparition. This seems like every Master set they print this sucker. Every single one of them. They like that. Like you have the same designers that keep printing them. And Night Save Familiar is a good card. The same cards over and over when they do these Masters-based sets. We've got the Spirit Monger got downshifted. Chainer's Edict. Now these suckers, I'm kicking myself because I didn't buy list these before they were reprinted. They got up to like $7 from the last time. I got in at $1 to $1.15, I think, on Chainer's Edict. I think even a little bit slightly lower when they crashed the last time they were reprinted, and I didn't buy list them off. I'm kicking myself for that. The Gemstone Mine. This was an expensive card at one point in time. And Impulse, which, no, Impulse curates, right? Is Impulse in Standard now? Might be in Standard. Can't remember what version they have. Look at the top X cards 3. I guess it's not Impulse now because that is 4 cards. 4 cards is pretty good. All right, already seen the Renewed Faith. We'll kind of go through these pretty quickly and get to the good. Yeah, they did these ones too, like the Invokers they did in Master sets before. Man, people have their pet cards and they just stick with them. Yeah, this Mogmog War Marshal, Rada, and a Wall of Junk. Triskelion has a lot of combos in Commander. There's a Dragon Whelp and a Wormfang Drake. Kind of like these old retro lands. They look kind of cool. Going back to the old school ways lands are supposed to look like with the brown borders. The Goblin Turncoat. And we have Mystic Zealot. Remember that card? A Fire Blast. Very good. Lots of good Pauper reprints in there. This is going to restock Pauper for sure. Battle Screech, yeah, right into Pauper. I mean, right, High Tide, banned in Pauper. And then we have Kamal Fist of Krosa, which did get a reprinting in Commander Legends, didn't it? I believe this was in Commander Legends. No, maybe it was Kamal, a different version of it. No, I swear it was. I can't remember, but it's a powerful card in Commander for sure. And wait a second. Why is it a slot onto the Invoker? Was this... That's weird. This should have been like a foil or a showcase slot. Maybe just have a slot for anything in that slot. We'll figure it out as we go on. We'll figure it out. All right. Primal Boost. And we have Recoil. That card was super strong back in the day. The Solkanar, the Swamp King. Whenever you cast a black spell, you gain a life. And Swamp Walk. And there's our good old Ornithopter and an island from Mark Poole. Very iconic island. A lot of us old school players definitely remember that island. The super, super basic island. Got the Aramancer that's been reprinted in every Master set imaginable. Like I said, the pet cards. The pet cards that they just keep going back to. We have got the Deep Anal. Gotta love the Deep Anal. And the runes, huh? Yep, the non-layers. That's cool. The layer lands, yep. Unless you return a non-layer to your hand. And the Dodecapod. Cool, cool. Another Flame Tongue. And we have Savine's Reclamation, which I believe was a Commander card. Yeah. Another Chain Lightning. That's cool. Oh, there we go. Our first Worldly Tutor in foil. There's one of the chase cards out of the set. And a good old Swamp. So... yeah, this was This had like 28 sets to choose from. Like there's 28 different sets of cards in here. Anything that was from the Dominaria plane. Grape Shot, Snap, man, really good cards. Street Wraith, look at these. Like the common slot was just nuts in this Mog War Marshal. Like lots of playable commons in Pauper formats and other formats. We have Arcanist Omnipotent and another Lull and a foil Ornithopter. So now we can get every version of the Ornithopter. A couple of Chain Lightnings already, too, which used to be like a $3 price tag. Street Wraith again. This was another one. I swear, every master set. Just look at it. Just go look how many like A25s and double masters, and they just like keep printing the same cards. Swords to Plowshare. Been reprinted a billion times. Avatic. Tormod's Crypt. Another Arcanist. Now we need it in that form, I guess. And Sandstorm. Did we miss a... Yeah, that slot's weird. This slot, I guess, can be anything. Because typically, I guess it depends if they're rare. Did we miss a rare here? Because we got the retro. Did I just, like, pass over? Nope, there's 3 uncommons, and the rare was retro. Okay, so I'm kind of confused what that slot can be. Whether it can be like a... Because we've had a common in that slot. We have 2 normal commons in that slot, and we've had a couple of retros in that slot. But typically, it's a retro slot or a foil slot. So I don't know. It's got some sort of rarity to it. Gamekeeper. We got the Croesus Catacombs. We got Absorb in the full art. Absorb. This is an expensive card when I was playing competitive back during, was this the plain Apocalypse era? Yeah, Apocalypse, I think, is when it released. And then there we go. See, there's a showcase with the Sawtooth Lion. And then a Plains and a Goblin. And let's get on to the good stuff here. Goblin Matron again. Another reprint. There's another Ornithopter. Now we definitely have all the versions of the Ornithopter. Crop Rotation. Another super, super strong card. Floodgate. Fire and Ice. This card was... This is like... Used to be played a ton too in that Apocalypse era. We had the Isolated Chapel. See, that's the land base in this. And again, yeah, so I guess if you get the rare as a retro, then it's going to be a common that's in that slot, which is super, super weird. So I guess they don't give you the option of getting a rare in the retro. It's got to be, we figured out the system. We're not down with the system. Crater, Howl from Beyond, Icy Manipulator, Night Today. Ooh, Silverzone Cemetery. Fun little story about this. This is one of my favorite cards ever printed because this is one of the very first decks that really got me into brewing. So during the Mirrodin time period and Onslaught time period, I ran actually it was Ravenous Baloth. It was Ravenous Baloth Oversold Cemetery deck that could stabilize against the Arcbound Ravager decks. And eventually you try to get to a Death Cloud, and Oversold Cemetery was just like the really, really good engine for having you be able to get card advantage. So you have to have 4 creatures in your graveyard, and then if you do, you can return one to your hand at the beginning of your upkeep. So you could just get a renewable resource. I can't remember what existed at the time period, whether it be like there was like a Necrotal type card that you could kill stuff. No, it wasn't. It was a Phyrexian Plague Lord. I think that was the card that you'd want to have a renewable resource, or you need to gain life with the Ravenous Baloth. Really, really fun deck back in the day. Really grindy matches. So yep, there's the retro with Terror. And there you have it. We have the Undying Rage, which is me. I am always in a rage. Man, we're going to get playsets of Whitemane Lions here. The Ship's Caretaker. Tatiova, that was getting expensive. The Rift's Awakener. And a Turnabout. Choose an artifact, creature, or land. Tap all untapped permanents of the chosen type. Target player controls and untap all tap permanents of the chosen type that player controls. So you typically choose land, and then you just get basically untap all your lands. Again, is how people use it in Commander. Turnabout's a good card though. It's actually pretty versatile. I can float a bunch of mana and then get a bunch of mana back, and then we get another Worldly Tutor in our foil slot, which is great. So we get the Worldly Tutor. Wait, that was a foil, so we should have got a... Oh, yeah, it was Rith. Okay, I'm like, we should have got a rare with that. So double on the Worldly Tutors. Like, typically, that's what you're looking for in this set. It's going to be, for the rare slots, it's going to be the Tutors. They're going to be the most expensive of the rares. And this is going to be fun to draft. I can already start to see some... man, Chain Lightning again. I think we're already up to a playset of them. The Adrenaline's Crusade, which gives goblins +1 and makes them zombies. And the Grim Lavamancer, super strong card that used to be legacy playable back in the day. Not so much anymore. Spirit Link, great popper card for Spirit Link. So what you like about Spirit Link is you can actually put on your opponent's cards and nullify them. So that's what makes it better than a lot of the cards that are similar to this. So it's like creature removal / you can give your creatures lifelink. So if you put it on your opponent's creature, you are the controller of the enchantment, so you gain the life. So a little bit of a history lesson of why that one is a lot more versatile in the popper. Putting on your opponent's... Hey, look at a nice Escape Familiar. So there's not a lot of commons in this set, so we're getting a lot of the same commons. Mana War, good card. Obsessive Research, love this card for Madness. The Madness 1 cantrip. The Oviomancer. Assault and Battery. And Mind Slicer. This card actually got expensive at one point in time. So when it dies, each player discards their hand. I remember this one had a huge spike in price. Mind Slicer. Don't think so anymore. Now it's going to be a bulk rare because this is going to add way too much. I mean, one of the things that was just scarce. Had never seen a reprint. But now it's not going to have a chance of ever. Really, got another Deep Anal. Gotta love the Deep Anal. We need a place that are Deep Anals. The Squirrel Nest. Congregate. Ooh, beautiful Showcase High Tide. The Crawl Space. And a Smoldering Crater. Yep, we figure out the system. If it's a retro, then you get a common in the other slot. So, yep. Wild Growth. Cat Grape Sutton Snap. These are two good cards together. So, because you can untap and cast more spells, dump your hand in a turn. Wild Dogs. Another Chain Lightning, another Frantic Search. Yeah, common slot's great. These are stuff I definitely... Oh, there you go, Bacon Bombs. We did it for you. We get the Force of Will, which is the most expensive card out of the set. It didn't Call to Hurt, so Call to Hurt got downshifted. Maybe it got downshifted before. That used to be a rare. This, by the way, was a very expensive card at one point in time. Because this was during this time period in Constructed, it was all about a counterspell war. And so anything that had 2-for-1s, like Call the Herd, or I know the Ursa's Rage was pretty good back in the day too because it couldn't be countered. So anything that could win that counter war was super strong. This would still be a really good card. It'd be playable in Standard for sure. A 3/3, and then you get another 3/3 back for flashback. Typically other decks do you mill yourself, and then you can just... It's the 3/3 for 4. And then it costs nothing, no resources, because you either milled it or looted. And then we get the Force of Will for you. Bacon Bombs. Don't you ever say I didn't do anything for you. And oh, how the mighty have fallen with Savannah Lions. Now it's just such a trash card comparatively to other cards that exist now with 2/1s that have massive upsides in the slot, like Recruiter that just was printed in the last set. Recruiter of the Guard, I think is what it's called. We have the Macetail Hystrodon. Another Mana War. And, oh! What? It's upside down. Need a new pack for that. Duress. We have the Gauntlet of Power. So we have the Showcase Mythic, Gauntlet of Power, which was a card, again, that was expensive at one point in time. But, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pull. And the Tormod Crypt Retro. So far this box is already good. We're like halfway, a little over halfway through it. We get the Force of Will and the Gauntlet of Power. We have the Urborg Uprising. And we'll start going a little bit quicker here with these. We've seen all the commons and uncommons. Last chance, so I guess the mythics come in a row. So take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. It's only 2 mana to take an extra turn. So a lot of these red deck, win decks would run it, and then you would be able to, especially if your opponent's like tapped out, you'd be able to dish off a ton of damage for just 2 mana. You play it on your like turn 5. So, alrighty. Let's go to lots of goodies in those common slots. We got the... Oop, we missed it. So this can be Divine Sacrament. Divine Sacrament. With Threshold, they can get 2+1/+1s. And we have the Goblin Matron. Boom. Alrighty. Man, this is so many Nightscape Familiars. We've opened up like 10 of them. Or maybe I've just been... My eyes just been looking at it more now. So Nantuko Shade is another one that kind of got dumbed down with the new shade that just came out. Misery Shade. This card was super strong in like the mono black shells that existed. There was decks at this time with Corrupt and What is it? The Urborg, not Urborg combo, but you still had the card that could tap lands and ooh, Nature's Lore's in this too, and add a ton of black mana. Nature's Lore. It's a nice little expensive card. Okay, we've got the Crackling Fiend again. Yeah, I like how we've gone from this to each opponent discards a card. Oh, I guess each opponent. So in Combat it's a little bit better than like a rat where only one person discards a card. So Crackling Fiend goes to more. But I mean, you can do this in a 1v1 game with just basically one rat. Mirran Forsha, this was a very, very strong card back in the day too. For the protection of black was super relevant. And it would get up to a 6/6 with flying. So yeah, this set has like, it definitely does a nostalgia for me. Ooh, our pile's getting too big as we're throwing cards everywhere. And a plains and an insect token. Alrighty, we have Avrax. Ooh, Peregrine Drake got a reprint in this set too. Jeez, the commons are insane. And the Prospector. I know this had a regular Dominaria reprinting, and there's our Deep Anal. That's what we're looking for. It's all we want out of the boxes is as much Deep Anal as possible. Lightning Rift. This was fun in a cycling deck back in the day too. Man, I wish they would have printed this in a Pioneer. Actually, not, because that deck the cycling deck is so awful. But I mean, it'd give another way for the cycling deck. And the Sarah Avatar. So, good little commander. Factor Fiction. This card was so broken at one point that it got banned in Standard, I believe. If I remember correctly. The Factor Fiction. But now we just have better ways to draw cards. Then Factor Fiction. You go through 5 cards, put them in 2 different... You end up getting 2 decent cards. I mean, there's better way. There's cards now you can scry 2 and then draw 2. Or, I think even isn't there a card where you can, like, scry 4 and draw 2 for 4 mana? So it's, like, better than Factor Fiction. I guess you got them in the graveyard, though. So Factor Fiction was good for, like, the self-mills. Jeez. How many Nightscape Familiars does one person need to own? Huh? Am I keeping everything over 4 Bacon Bombs? Is that my price for opening this box? We have the Zira Arian. Ooh, and I saw a full art foil. We got the Jester's Cap, which is a good history lesson here. This was the most expensive card in Ice Age at one point. A lot of one-trick pony decks back in the day would just completely fold to a Jester's Cap, ripping out the win cons. So, you know, those big Drago decks, you could resolve a Jester's Cap, get rid of their combo, and they couldn't win. So, really cool card there. And look, it's nice and straight. It hasn't curled at all. Pretty good. Hopefully that will remain true. So we got the Jester's Cap in the full art foil or showcase foil. That's full art foil, I think is what it is. Lots of horseshoe crabs here too. Mindstone gets the 1,000,003 print in a row. Slice and Dice, that was a cool card back in the day too, because you could cycle it to do 1 damage every creature for 3 mana. So the Zombie Infestation, there's a couple of meme decks with this. Lotus Blossom, pretty cool card, and a Mana War, and a Mountain. So far this has been a pretty spicy box. Jester's Cap, I don't know. I don't think it's worth anything anymore. I don't know. Be a card they could easily put back in Standard, and it'd be fine. And got the Dragon Engine. Circle Logic, that card was fun back in the Madness, the Psychotog base days, I think is what it was. And it still uses in Pauper, a couple decks. Damping Sphere, the Royal Assassin. This has caused a lot of heartache at our local tables at lunchroom when I was growing up. We used to think this card was so broken. Oh, then it could just be stopped with like a lightning bolt. So, Mishra's Factory. Good old Mishra's Factory. Boom. And then we have the Spite Malice in foil. Plains, and another welcome card. I should at least give you a code. Come on. If you're going to print these arena welcome things, put a code on them. Lazy, greedy-ass wizards. Alright, so we have a foil coming up. It's a Swords to Plowshare. Opposition, man. This card was strong back in the day. Probably still is strong. Because you could tap down lands at the beginning of their upkeep. And you could just lock people out of games with Opposition. So, is it banned in Commander? I doubt it. But, I mean, it was super, super strong. The Verdict was cool, too. Just getting rid of 2 cards for 2 mana was pretty good. Smoldering Crater and an Island. Look, we do get the 2... Yeah, we did. We got the 2 lightning lands in a row with the lightning bolts on them. Yep. Awesome. So, Well done set by Wizards. Again, my only complaint is it's probably too soon for something like this, and they need to really slow down on their products. This should be like a regular release rather than, 2 master sets in basically a year. So, Helm of Awakening, strong card. Strong combo-based card. Got the Old School Duress and another Lightning Land. Another Lightning Land. The good old the Retro Lands. We have the Lieutenant Kirtar, who sacrifices Lieutenant card to exile target attacking creature. Okay, I've seen it play in a couple of these legend-based decks that can, tutor up legends, because any sort of legend with utility is good there. Couple packs to go. Cleric of the Forward Order. Another Werebear, another Peregrine Drake. Rager was just printed. Ay, ay, ay. Another Sapling Symbiosis and a Damping Sphere. And then we get a nice little forest. Old school looking forest with an elephant to go in the forest. An elephant to go in our beautiful forest. Alright, Sandstorm. Mind Stone in here. Chainer's Edict again. And another Tativoya. And that's cool. A full art Street Wraith. We'll put that over here at our full art. So Street Wraith is played like crazy in Modern. A Sulfuric Vortex. Which is that... Can't really remember if that was printed in one of the master sets for Modern. I don't think so. But it's a strong card nonetheless. Momentary Blink. And we get a foil Denizen of the Deep as well. Alright. The Medics. Whenever it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to any target for 3 mana. So you could do some tap-untap shenanigans. And Chain Lightning again. So I guess you can buy a box of this and get your Pauper deck done. The Quicksilver Dagger has a lot of cool combos with... this creature deals 1 damage to target player, you draw a card. Okay, so this deals 1 damage to target player, you draw a card. Never mind, it doesn't give you every time it deals damage. Factor Fiction, we saw that one already. Another Lieutenant Qatar. And a White Mane Lion. 4 more packs to go with the Ember Beast. Good old Ember Beast and another Drake in here. Jeez. Again, I'm just... Nature's lore. Commons and uncommons are insane in this set. Overmaster, the next instant sorcery spell you cast this turn can't be countered and draw a card. Super, super strong in a lot of combo-based decks. We have another Street Wraith. We got a Duress Retro Foil. We are finding every version of the dress. Peregrine Drake again. Oh, there we go. I think we found enough anal in this box. Okay. Faces Butcher Life. Birds of Paradise. Look at that beautiful card in the full art. That is a snazzy one with the wild dogs. To wrap it up, not a bad box. We hit the Force of Will. We hit some good full arts. Not a bad box whatsoever. So, last box is see if we can actually find something even more snazzy. We can with the Enlightened Tutor. Very, very heavily played card in Commander. Enlightened Tutor's great card, and an Empty the Warrens. It's banned in almost every format. So, wait, is it banned? It's not banned in Modern. It's still played. It's banned in Pauper. Last pack. See if we can hit. We've only hit 2 tutors. 2 of the green ones and 1 of the white ones. So this is going to be a tutor here, huh? This last one with the Mana War. So we're looking for 1 last anal, and oh, we didn't. We hit a Circular Logic. Oversold Cemetery number 2 is what we hit, and, we got another Duress to go with it, so, and a Lightning Land. Can't go wrong with that, though. We hit some good, juicy, juicy stuff here. Let's just kind of fan through what we got as far as the kind of snazzy stuff we have that I know is worth money in this one. I mean, Lotus Blossom's okay. It's not really got the Jester's Cap. Gauntlet of Power, Last Chance, Force of Will. That was our little, in the middle of the box, we started opening up the, super, super strong stuff. Got the Absorb, Worldly Tutor. I think that's about the value here. Not bad, not bad. I'd be interested in how much this would actually make at this point. I know Force of Will is going to be the big chunk of change here. But all in all, pretty good loot here with this set. My whole strategy with this is, go on a card sphere, start putting these commons and uncommons up for super, super low buy list, like the Chainers Unix for 5 cents. You'd be surprised if people actually do send them to you. And the chain lightnings and stuff, and give it a year, they'll go back up because they're so heavily played in formats like Pauper. But I don't know, the way the Wizards of Coast, I used to have this kind of policy that I'd try to, sit on cards for 2-3 years and then sell them. But now the way that Wizards reprints everything every 5 seconds, there's just too much cardboard out there for commons and uncommons now. I mean, it's more likely that newer commons and uncommons have a better chance, like from standard sets and these like master sets, because they just, as I mentioned before in this video, it seems like the same person that designs these master sets has pet cards, and they're like, oh, let's print this again to go perfect in this set and whatnot. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll try to do this other box here and maybe build up some other stuff for like a live stream. Maybe we'll try to do like at least once a week. We'll open up all your crap you guys want me to open up and send you the contents of them. So I don't know, maybe we'll do some sort of auction-based style, or you guys give me some ideas of what you think would make some good content for some live stream. I'd like to get my commentary about what I feel about with Magic the Gathering, how things are going, etc. And we hope you enjoyed this video. Kevin with Rogue Deck Builders. You can hear tippity tappity Chloe in the background. We need to go outside, Chloe. Okay, let's take you outside. Thanks for watching.